Hi everyone. So I've been told that I have pretty strict standards when it comes to dating, especially dating men. And I wanted to talk about 5 basics that I kind of use in my life. I don't date too often. I usually just try to, do my own thing. However, I feel like maybe it would be helpful for some ladies that find it really freaking mentally exhausting to date men and to put themselves out there. So let's get into it. So, number one, and very important one, the most important one for me is that I value my time the most. So, that means I'm not going out with somebody to a place that I don't really have like on my list. So, I have a list of places that I want to go to, things that I really want to do, and sometimes there is room and space for someone's suggestions. Most of the time there is not. If I want to go to a restaurant or a rooftop bar or anything like that, aquarium, I don't know, I want to play some sports, do something like that, go to a beach club, whatever. There are so many things that you might possibly want to do, and a guy wants to go for a walk in a park, or he wants I don't know, grab a coffee that you wouldn't have grabbed otherwise. There is nothing wrong with coffee dates if that's your thing. If you catch yourself going outside, walking in the park every day, that is absolutely fine, because that is how you use your time. Because if you use your time differently, and I do, when I go by myself, I do completely different things. It is very important that I don't change these things just to meet a man, because I've been told, oh, you like food, or you like drinks, or you like good places. That's because that is my life, and that is where I take myself, and that is where my parents took me, and that is where I go with friends. That is my life, and I'm not going to make myself smaller to go with you somewhere where I wouldn't have gone otherwise. I'm not trying to impress you. I know the things that I like. Yes, I do like food. I do like a good restaurant. I don't know if I like you. I don't know who you are. I've never met you. I'm still getting to know you, whatever. I don't know how impressed I will be with you. I know the things that I like, and my time is the most valuable asset that I can have. So even if the date doesn't go well, and trust me, I've had so many of these that just, they just don't go too well, and that is fine. Like, that's life. I still don't regret them, because I was doing something that I wanted to do, and in a company that maybe, I don't know, was a bit awkward, a bit weird, a bit just uncompatible. And with a lot of like these people, you just stay friends because there's no bad blood, there's nothing. You just like, you just didn't, I don't know, have compatibility. But men like to impress in the majority, and it is very important for them. So there is nothing wrong with telling a man that you want to do this. If he suggests a place and you don't have it on your list, or it's not a place that you would want to go, just suggest him a couple different places. That's not gonna make you less feminine. That's not gonna make you less of a person. Stop serving men. That is just number one rule, because most of them don't mind. They don't mind taking you where you want to be. But if you step over yourself, then you lose. You never wanted to go to this coffee shop. You never wanted to go for a coffee date overall. Yet you're trying to prove to this man that you don't care where he takes you. You just want his company or whatever. And who is at loss? Who is at loss if it doesn't work out? It's you, because you got ready. You took 2 hours to get ready to go for a walk with a man that you don't find interesting. And if that's your thing, if you really like coffee, if you really like lunch dates, if you really like parks, that is absolutely fine. Just stick to what you like. Number 2 is boundaries and the good girl syndrome. I don't have that one, so I don't I don't find myself in these situations, but I used to. I used to have like, kind of weak boundaries because we are kind of taught to be good girls, to sort of, I don't know, be good, be nice, and all that stuff. And a lot of the times men overstep these boundaries. Have you ever been in a restaurant on the first date and a man is trying to sit next to you on a couch? Because he is trying to initiate this physical contact as soon as possible. That is up to him. He is following his own, trajectory. You have your own, and your trajectory is to not, get too physically involved right away, if that's not what you're going on a date for, obviously. So that's where you tell him, slow down. I want to see your face. We're just getting to know each other, and I want to look at your face and I want to talk to you. If you're sitting right next to me, I don't really see your face, and that is just, not the way I want to be here for. So that is very, very important, that you don't overstep your own boundaries, and everyone has their own boundaries. It sounds really basic. It sounds really freaking basic, but if you talk to women and kind of dig into how many women overstep their own boundaries, or at least have done that like a few times, you are gonna be shocked. Like, how many times a guy kissed you and you didn't want him to kiss you, and as messed up as it sounds, I don't know, you just didn't know, like, oh, maybe yeah, maybe not, but you weren't sure. Every time it's a maybe, it's a no. So be strict with yourself and be strict with anyone around you, because that is very important. That is very important that, when you meet the right guy, right, he is gonna wait for you to take a step into, getting a bit more physical. Like if you, like touch his, I don't know, accidentally, touch his like hand a little bit, then he's gonna see it as a cue. Like you have to make like a really subtle kind of hint to let him know you are ready, and he needs to wait until that. And, making it quicker by sitting on the same couch or doing this or doing that is just not gonna be good. It's just not gonna be good. So that is my number 2, is learn your own boundaries and apply to that and stick to them. It doesn't matter how uncomfortable it makes you and him feel. If you have to go on 20 dates to just learn about your boundaries, do it. Number 3, if you are completely exhausted that, you are dating this man and nothing good comes out of it, they don't want a serious relationship, they're traveling, their fish died, they have so many excuses why they don't want you, and you have this goal that you need to get in a relationship, you want a long-term partner, release yourself. Let yourself be. And that is the best advice that I can give you, because you would have no control what other person is gonna be like, what they're gonna do, when they're gonna leave you, when they're gonna have other priorities, whether the connection is real or not. There's plenty of narcissists that are gonna make you feel like you're on top of the world from the first date, and it's meant to be. They just know their way around with women, and you cannot control another person, but what you can control is getting the best out of every experience that you can. Once again, I already spoke about places that you want to go, which is very important. And I say it's very important because, sometimes there are some things that you wouldn't do by yourself, but then you have this company and you have, a man like taking you there. And suddenly, this experience, whether it works or not, it turns into something more meaningful because you learned a skill, you learned a language, you learned something that you wouldn't have done otherwise. You learned something about yourself. Like, treat it as an experience for self-growth, don't like jump into it. Obviously, you have your own narrative that you want a serious relationship or whatever, but don't like just jump into it with every guy, just regretting every single person that didn't work out. It's fine. Sometimes people don't work out. It sucks if you're looking for a serious relationship. It is a waste of time. However, how was that time? How did you feel during that time? What happened during that time? What did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about the country that you're in, and the place you're in, about, I don't know, an opposite gender, about your boundaries, about yourself? Like, there are so many people with so many stories, and treat it like an experiment. Let go of yourself. You have a long-term goal, and do not change that. Don't turn from a relationship girl to, oh, let's see how it goes girl. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying is, you have a long-term goal, but don't get demotivated by things not working out sometimes. Go next experience, learn something. Oh, yeah, okay, he dumped me. I learned how to play football. I know something about geography now. Like, I learned something about myself that, I don't want this and I want this. And this is how my future partner is going to treat me. Like, there's so many things that you can learn about yourself in this, and treat it like this. Do not treat it as, oh, I got used and, it was a waste of time. It wasn't. Everything. You can learn from everything. Number 4, and a very, very important one. Stop being a good girl. It is not about whether he is gonna like you or not. It is about where you are gonna like him or not. And that is the most important one. Stop trying to impress him. Like, do the complete opposite. Do the complete opposite. Ask him a random question. Ask him deep questions, like questions that are not typically asked on a first date. To be honest, I stand by that. People say, some people say it's right, some people say it's wrong. I stand by it that sometimes you just need to dive into it. Ask very important questions right off the bat. Your time is the most valuable asset that you can possibly have. And not knowing, getting to know a person and realizing you want kids and they don't want kids on a 4th date is a complete waste of time. Or trying to change their mind even. Just jump into it. Make your freaking silly joke. If you spit out your food, that is not a big deal. Just ask different questions. Talk about politics, talk about children, talk about marriage, talk about previous relationship, talk about what they think on this matter. Just be unapologetically yourself, and just ask right off the bat questions. Just sit there and ask right off the bat questions that you are so scared to ask, or you think they're gonna judge you. I'm not saying take it from my experience, but I have been on a date with a guy, and he said he's retired, and he was 32 or something, and I was like, are you retired or unemployed? Because these two are different. Which, it was a bit too brave. I'm not saying to follow my example, but yeah, he did end up liking me very much after that. He was actually retired, not unemployed. So ask questions that you are scared to ask. Just go for it. Treat it like it's an experiment. That is the fun part in it. Be unapologetically yourself. Because we women are taught to, think, oh, maybe I said something wrong. Maybe I didn't ask, I didn't ask him something. Maybe I acted too much, Maybe I was a freaking, I don't know, psycho or whatever. If you're a psycho, just be a freaking psycho. There's plenty of men that are gonna like psychos. Stop trying to, make yourself smaller for a man. A right man will like you being psycho, and that's just it. And that's just it. And last but not least, I'm sure I have a lot of these, so if that is something that you're interested in, I'm sure I can pull off a lot of these. But stop wasting your energy on people that are not gonna give you what you want. Stop answering to this WYD dude that's in your DMs, texting you at 3 a.m. if you are looking for a serious relationship. He's not gonna give you a serious relationship. Stop going over to guys' houses. if you are expecting him to be a little bit more than a weekend lover. Stop, like, talking to people that do not match your energy, your intelligence, your world view. Like, you can say that, oh, I'm not taking it serious, I'm just talking, I'm just seeing what's gonna come out of this. But everything is an energy, and you are giving your energy to people that don't deserve it. As soon as there is some inconsistency, you start feeling anxious. You just, the guy is just not putting effort. He's not taking you anywhere. He just wants you to come over. You feel bad. Like, you feel bad about yourself. You feel bad about your situation. Don't sit and wait what's gonna happen next, because this is gonna cause you so many days of anxiety, of really bad, really difficult days, and it's just not gonna bring you anywhere. Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. You're gonna be where you just started for a very long time, just giving your energy to wrong people that don't clearly match it. So, like, go as psycho as you want. It doesn't matter. We only live once. I know, like, the whole theory of attachment. Would love to practice that, but sometimes you just need to close the chapter. If you want to write that paragraph to close the chapter, just write the paragraph, but close that chapter, because before you close that chapter, it's gonna be lingering on you, and there's gonna be no more space for someone who would actually be worthy. So stop going over to these guys' houses if you want something more. Stop giving them what they want if you want something more, and start actually giving your energy to people who might deserve it. They might not, they might disappoint you, but at least there is a chance that it will work out. So yeah, well, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I do have a lot of thoughts on that matter, so if anyone has any questions, any things we want to discuss, let me know. I hope you like this little video, and once again, these are only my kind of things that I apply and that help me, filter people out and have less disappointing experiences. So that has nothing to do with, how the majority of people maybe think. It's my personal opinion. You don't have to listen to me. I am not certified, therapist, psychologist, whatever, but everyone has a podcast these days. So thank you for watching. Bye.